there's so much empathy that you actually suicide yourself.
Yeah.
So that we've got civilizational suicidal empathy going on. You need to have empathy for civilization as a whole and not commit to a civilizational suicide. The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy.
A man who could not be more out of touch, Elon Musk, gives his take on empathy.
It was said in Washington not too long ago, America, the problem with America, we have too much empathy. Well, you can live a life, you can accomplish, you can accumulate a lot of stuff, you can fill your house and then fill your garage and fill your basement, but you cannot live a rich life if you don't have empathy.
Famed actor, producer, author, and director Henry Winkler hated hearing it.
You need to think it through and not just be programmed like a robot.
Right. Understand when empathy has been actually used as a tool.
Yes. It's weaponized empathy is the issue.
This is a great example of a deeply broken man who is deeply hurt and also deeply disturbed. The counter?
Every one of you is powerful. Some of you know your power. Some of you are scared of your power. Some of you haven't touched it yet. You're not aware it's even there yet. And I want to tell you, you are powerful. And in you is a great gift. And your job is to figure out what your gift is, because this world needs every single one of you. And your job is to find that gift and give it to the world. It doesn't matter what it is. We need it. Go! Thank you. Thank you.
I truly believe our messages like these. Why exactly has Elon talked about this so much?
I think the fundamental moral flaw of the left is empathy for the criminals and not empathy for the victims. Empathy for the criminals, but not empathy for the victims. And there's been way too much of that. That needs to stop.
Because there's not just one clip or two or even three.
Isn't it shocking how much violence and hatred is coming from the left? I mean, isn't it supposed to be the party that they claim to be the party of empathy, and yet they're burning Teslas and shooting up dealerships and calling for the death of the president and me? I'm like, guys, you know, this is insane. Like, they're gone psycho. I mean, it's really like, I totally understand if somebody doesn't want to buy a product. Yeah, it's up to you. It's a free country, you know, but you don't have to burn it down. Okay.
I have to ask, why? Why do I see people like, I woke up this morning and saw that Teslas were put ablaze in one of your dealerships in Vegas. I've seen this happen all over the country. Bullets are being fired, charging stations are put ablaze, Teslas are being put ablaze. You have experienced assassination, threats of assassination for you and your family. What have you done that warrants this? Because I see nothing that you have done except help our country.
Yeah, I mean, it's really come as quite a shock to me that there is this level of really hatred and violence from the left. I always thought the left, or the Democrats, were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring, and yet they're burning down cars, they're firebombing dealerships, they're firing bullets into dealerships, they're just, smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged, there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. I have many good friends who have deep empathy for their fellow human beings.
Good.
And they care. But the challenge that they have is that they've often grown up in a very sheltered existence where everyone around them is nice and civilized. and they just really don't encounter people who have uncontrolled violent tendencies or like hurting people. And there's a small segment that enjoy hurting other people. And if you do not incarcerate them, they will hurt other people. And what I see is what I call shallow empathy. Like people have empathy for the criminals, but not empathy for the victims of the criminals.
Yes.
And I believe that one should have deep empathy to say, like, what is the greater good for society? Is it better to incarcerate violent criminals and prevent them from hurting people, or to let them loose and allow those people to be hurt? And I think the latter is much worse. Once we unlocked Twitter from being censored, then we started to see what was really going on. And I became increasingly concerned. I'm like, wait a second, I'm seeing videos of people streaming across the border on Twitter, now X. I'm like, and I was like, is this real? So I said, well, I'll go to the border myself. So I went to Eagle Pass, Texas, and sure enough, people streaming across the border. And I was like, so is there any vetting of these people? Like, no, the Biden administration is letting them all in. And I said, well, but some of these people clearly have criminal affiliations. Like they literally have the criminal affiliation tattooed on their face. The left is kind to the criminals and cruel to the victims, which is not empathy at the end of the day. If you're a high trust society and you bring in low trust or untrustworthy individuals, that's now you've got a fundamental breakdown in the system.
Recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster.
Ironically, his own brother took a shot at him on the topic of empathy.
Extraordinary what he is able to do. He's the greatest engineer in the world, and I think that's just, I don't even think anyone comes close, frankly. I think the negative is it depends on your attitude, is just he doesn't really have an empathy gene. The sort of, I'm very empathetic, and he has it in a unique way, but
And that means what?
Just social awareness, which would be one, but the other one is empathy around, let's say work, like empathy around, well, you have a life, you have marriage. How is that relevant? Like, it's just, we have work to do. So there's that part, but then there's all the way to just, even with him and I, like.
If your company sees racial slurs allegedly used by non-black employees when speaking to black employees at a factory, per the lawsuit, where even a black worker at Tesla said that folks use the N-word all the time, especially white men, well, that's a problem. If your company was ordered to pay $3 million as a result of a civil suit by a black elevator operator at the plant who claimed he was subjected to frequent racist abuse, you clearly lack empathy as the head. In addition, that verdict came after an earlier verdict in the same case for $137 million, which was thrown out by a federal judge as excessive. In 2022, a California state civil rights agency also sued his company, accusing it of allowing racist abuse in the factory. In addition, if you're a poster who tweets, "Whites are a rapidly dying minority," and you declare that there has been unrelenting hate and poisonous propaganda in the West against anyone white, straight, or male over the past decade or more, adding "no more guilt trips enough," you are the one that lacks empathy. If you press send on a message that reads, "They're openly advocating white genocide and they are calling for the genocide of whites," over a video of black South Africans at a protest on April 14th, 2026, you are indeed the problem. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.